drive, Sarah.
Good job.
400 miles.
30 seconds. Even 10 seconds to spare.
Whitehall Council meeting of December 18, 2024 will come to order. The Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Residents are to sign in to speak during citizens' request. Speakers are allotted 3 minutes to present their initial comments. All meetings will be recorded auditorily and visually. And please, everyone now, please silence your cell phones. Roll call, please, Mrs. Woods.
Ms. Buck.
Here.
Mrs. DePew.
Here.
Mrs. Piper.
Here.
Mrs. Teddy.
Here.
Mrs. Thomas. Here. Mr. Dombrowski.
Here.
Mr. Deep.
Here.
Mayor Nowak.
Here.
Mr. Furman.
Here.
And Mr. Russmeyer.
Here.
All right, thank you. Before we move on to our regular business, this is one of the best things we do all year. We have Officer Smith to present the winners of our Christmas card
Yes.
contest.
Thank you, Mrs. Bulk. So welcome everybody. I just want to kind of give you a quick rundown of what we do here. This is our 3rd annual holiday card contest, and so we put it out to all 4th graders that go to the Borough Whitehall School District and Mother of Mercy Academy. So with that, I take submissions from all these kids who can draw. They want to draw whatever they can want to for the holidays, and so I get a flood of all these submissions, and then I pick 2 from Lutz Elementary and 1 from Mother of Mercy Academy. And I just tell you, it was unbelievably difficult this year, and you'll see why in a minute. So our 3 winners here tonight, if you can stand up, just come forward, and then we'll recognize them with an applause in a moment. So, or you can do it now, go ahead. Yeah, why not? So our first winner with the Warm Wishes card is Amelia Havanek. That's yours. This is yours to have. Next up is from, and Amelia goes to Lutz Elementary. And also at Lutz Elementary is Malia Morgan. And this is Malia's submission. It's truly unbelievable. How cool is that, right? Yes. And then last but certainly not least, from Mother of Mercy Academy 4th grade student Dax Shepard. You should be back there, Dax. Yeah, so cool. So I always throw this out there that if he's available, I always tell the kids, like, you know, when you get to meet the mayor. So, Mayor, you're in the room, I can pull you out there.
Yeah, that's why I came back.
All right. All right, very good, very good. So we will all walk this way, and I have the original artwork too, and I'll give it to you out there, but we'll let them take it off.
Photos for any of the families.
Okay, you can pull out the door.
Great job, kids.
Thank you.
Before I get to the citizens' request, I wanted to address what occurred at our last council meeting, because quite a few people asked me what that was all about. Because it was disconcerting. And I just want to emphasize again that the behavior of our council members should always be held at a high standard and never include what occurred at the last meeting. I mean, yelling and leaving the public meeting is just not acceptable. Ms. Eicher did not maintain her composure, and things got out of hand in that regard. I mean, we have 8 elected officials up here, 7 council members and the mayor, and we all are passionate serving our residents. And we try to do it to our best of our ability. We may not agree as council members. There's 7 of us elected, and naturally there will be discussion and disagreements. However, that cannot be tolerated, and we can't have any member of council or the audience, for that matter, get out of hand and nobody asked to leave. So, as you know, every year, our council officers and our committee chairs change annually. But will never change as a respect that is expected by our residents and by our council members to run this borough the way it should be and the residents deserve. So with that being said, I'd like to just move on in a more compassionate, professional manner in our meetings.
I would like to thank the council for accepting my resignation from Public Works Committee. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, citizens' request. Thank you. Jane Cassiano, please stand and state your name and address. Yes, thank you for using it. I forgot to mention our new speaker podium. It'd be much easier for everyone to be heard and seen.
Jane Cassiano, 5348 High Grove Road. I'd like to discuss two items, the proposed tax increase and the continued misuse of borough resources. The proposed tax increase is minuscule. A $500,000 increase amounts to less than $10 a month for most residents, not that much at all. Almost half of this tax increase will be spent on one single capital funds project that Mr. or Ms. Eicher and Mr. Soborowski personally sponsored. So I don't understand why the two are complaining about the tax increase. Also, I've made copies of the 2024 tax millage rates for all the boroughs in Allegheny County. Note that Baldwin Borough and Baldwin Township charge almost 2 times as much for comparably assessed properties. This issue has been overblown, and it is more the county's fault for not upholding their tax assessment system, which is another story altogether. I once again bring up the right-to-know request Ms. Eicher has opened with the borough for files from the 2024 purge list. I understand that she continues to change the nature of the requests, now asking for files from the Doverdale project, which are active files. So my question is, are the rest of the files from the purge list no longer requested? And if so, when will they be taken out of storage and destroyed? The current cost to the borough is $10,521.67. And Ms. Eicher still has scheduled another viewing later this month, and another legal charge will be added before the end of the month. And one last note, I agree 100% with Ms. Book, and that leaving a council meeting is shirking your duty as a council person and shirking your duty to the taxpayers of Whitehall Borough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I would like to respond to the tax increase. She's only
Well, you know
showing
what, we
half
can
of
do
the
that when it
information.
comes up.
No, well, how do so I can't, she could say whatever she wants and I can.
Well, no, you can't. I'm just letting you know, Stone, that we come under the, reporting this report as when we go through all the budget and
Well,
the,
then, when do I have an opportunity to ask how she got her right to know request fulfilled before Mrs. Bethlen Eicher?
I don't know. Courtney can.
Which, right, I guess to start to answer your question,
The one that the mayor used to strong arm everybody that got a right to know request, that right to know
I am not
request?
afraid. I'm not afraid. Really, show it.
I don't know what.
Show
I
it.
don't know what you're talking about. I
But,
don't either. I
but
don't know
this
what-
works, of course, you answer.
so there are, the only current right to know on my desk right now, is from Mrs. Eicher for files that are not on the purge list. As Mrs. Cassiano stated, there is a viewing appointment set to review those. As far as any right to knows, they would involve the 2024 purge list resolution. They have all been completed, and those files were purged on December 3rd.
Okay,
So
great.
that is the only
Congratulations.
active right to know that I have at this moment.
Okay.
All right, so that's answered? Okay. Excuse me. So next we have Mr. Martin Schmelzer. The podium, thank you.
How'd you like the show last night?
That was awesome.
It was pretty good. wasn't it?
Yes. I couldn't believe who was standing behind me.
What?
Your daughter. That was funny.
I was there too.
I know, you were parking the car.
Yeah.
Don't share what was the show.
Oh, hip hop nutcracker.
Hip hop nutcracker.
Oh, wow.
So, okay, I don't know where we left off last time, but the Allegheny County has posted a sign, next to West Club that there will be storm sewer work done there. I'm told by January 31st it will be completed. So that's the county's, part of the deal. I appreciate every council member and the mayor for your work and efforts in getting West Club, situated. You have option one at $215,000 that you're gonna pass in the budget tonight. You also had option two at $110,000. That's not in the budget, even though, as Tristan talked about, we don't need the, the general fund road improvement, which saves the borough $360,000. But what I do suggest is that the $110,000 for option two be placed with the $215,000 for a total of $325,000, because the initial plans that I saw that only covers 2 storm sewers. You're gonna need 4, and you're gonna need a curb. But you do have extra money in the storm sewer, but I think it would be prudent to put $325,000 for option one and forget an option two entirely. As far as the borough engineer, when do you think you'll have the plans for West Club, in a more formidable fashion?
It'd be the first quarter of 25.
Okay.
It's in the budget, is approved tonight. With that, then you start review of the easements, right-of-ways, right-of-way needed for the installation.
Well, but it will just be the homeowners down at the end of the road.
Approximately.
Yeah, right, exactly. Okay. I want to thank Jim Nowak. I've worked very closely with him. He has provided me information. I did not have to file a right to know request nor pay a quarter a page. I appreciate him. Within 24 hours, I got the information. Also, I needed information from Stone. I got it. He didn't charge me anything. I appreciate that. This is going to make some of you very, very sad. In the first 40 years, I went to, I think, 2 meetings. In the last year, 6 months, I've gone to 6 meetings. I'm not going to continue to come back. I think we're on the right road. I do appreciate everybody's efforts as opposed as in relationship to West Club. I think you've done a really good job with that. I'll just say one thing, and I've said it before. When I was on the school board, whether you were my friend or enemy, you were an elected official. Whatever you asked for, you got it in 24 hours. There were no BS right to know requests, and there was no charging. This is too petty for you people to do. You're too good for this stuff. It's beneath you. It's beneath each and every one of you, this type of behavior. That's all I'm gonna say about that. An elected official has the right to get any information they want, anytime they want it. It's not for me to judge, it's not for you to judge. It's their right, they were elected, you all were elected. So I will be back with the engineer in 3-4 months on the plans, and I thank all of you for your help with this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marty.
Next is that Joe? Oh, I'm sorry, Lori.
That's okay.
Sorry. Lori, we'll just stand and state your name and address.
Okay.
Our podium.
Lori Bickle, 19 West Club Drive. First of all, I was gonna ask the same question he did about when approximately West Club would be looked at in the coming year. I didn't ask that last time, we said somewhere before the first quarter. That's just look at the plans, or will the actual work be done?
No, that'd be the planning. Planning and
Okay, so
design.
that's plans in the first quarter, we looking in the second quarter?
Again, it's subject to receiving easements from your
I don't know
neighbors.
how long something like that takes, that's why I'm asking.
I can't predict that.
It's gonna be done before next December?
If the easements are acquired, yes.
Okay, that's. I'm hoping
Next
it's-
summer or next fall?
I'm sorry, December, I said.
Next December, I'm sorry. Yes.
I'm hoping it's gonna be done like by the summer.
It's all subject to getting the easements.
Here, I'll help on this.
Okay.
You're gonna give the easement, right? And every property owner that's affected is gonna give the easement.
Right.
It's not gonna be like we're gonna have to engage in some kind of long negotiations, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, it's up to our league.
but I think every single resident that has to give an easement, once this project done, and they're gonna give that easement, it should not be a problem.
Okay, so we should have to look at the plans and all that. Second thing, this is my 14th meeting, 12 in this year alone. It's a lot. And I appreciate everybody's time and effort in here, because I know there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. That my first meeting here went till 10:30. I'm like, really? That's a lot for you, that's a lot for us. But I don't think people realize there shouldn't be any animosity between the audience and the elected officials. I came here seeking your help. At times I left here very disgruntled and really upset because I didn't feel I was getting that. And I think everybody out there should feel that's why you're here to help us. This money's not coming out of your own pocket, there's a budget for everything. And I think when you're passionate about something, especially a problem, we need to get that fixed. So we look to you for that. I'm sorry that Beth is leaving. I think she's done an excellent job in the time that I've known her, resigning from that particular committee. But, you know, we gotta look past all that and work together, because we want this community to be well. If somebody doesn't like somebody personally, well, that's on them, but don't bring it into, this room then. And, that's all I wanna say, and have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, Lori.
Okay, now, what is your name?
Jared.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my handwriting's
That's
horrible.
okay, your name and address.
Okay.
At the podium, thank you.
My name's Jared Hoffman, I live at 5328 Spring Mountain Drive. I personally say I think that we need to make sure we have a decorum in these meetings. I completely agree with Ms. Buck. I mean, we are, like, I'm a residential real estate agent. I don't fire people all day. We act with decorum. I want that here too, is in these meetings. The second thing I want to talk about is just the proposed increases with the taxes. I understand them, and I can't say I'm for or against, but as a licensed real estate agent who operates in this borough, I do have some concerns, especially with the realty transfer tax proposed increase. What I see often is that folks will try to avoid boroughs where that percentage is higher. And even though we are looking at only a half, and it's going to go quarter and quarter, that can actually make the difference between someone deciding to purchase a home in an area when they get that cost sheet from their mortgage company and not doing that. And I also think with the tax increases as we continue to go, that can cause concerns for folks looking to come here. And you know, like I said, I'm not for or against this, but I just want us to think about what what we can do to our home values here in the borough if we continue down this track, because I do think it could have negative implications to folks wanting to move here. As I bought my home here 2 years ago, I was immediately reassessed by the Whitehall School District. I pay double what my neighbors pay, and I have neighbors that have homes that if I sold them right now would sell for $75,000 higher because of their square footage. They're paying less taxes than myself. And I get it, because that's how the county does their reassessments. But we are going to continue to impact new home buyers in this borough, and I really want us to think about that as we go forward and do these things. And my one other piece too is I don't know if the borough can try to encourage the county and the county executive to look at, doing their responsibility with the tax assessments. If there's anything that you guys can do, I think that we should do it, because we need to make sure that everyone has their fair share that lives all across Allegheny County, but in Whitehall Borough as well. So I thank you for listening to me, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Can I address?
Yeah.
Jared, can you stay up?
Yeah.
Because that was my idea, so I'm happy to address it.
Yeah.
So, you have to understand that we're looking for ways other than property taxes to raise revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And the nice thing about the realty transfer tax is that the borrower is gonna take out a mortgage, and they're gonna spread that cost out. And the seller is gonna get a large sum of money having sold their real estate.
Yeah.
And so they're not gonna miss that little bit in the realty transfer tax.
So
And I can tell you that just from my own personal experience, because I do real estate closings, not many, but I don't think people have a clue what the real estate transfer tax is. I bet you if I, asked in this room, what is Whitehall's real estate transfer tax? I don't think anybody would know. And so I don't think it's gonna be a deterrent at all to anybody coming in. Certainly, a small amount of a realty transfer tax.
So it goes towards the closing costs. So you pay your transfer tax, it does not get spread out over the mortgage. You pay that when you close. And what I see, like City of Pittsburgh, I deal with the City of Pittsburgh all the time. I had someone last week, we had 2 houses, one in the City of Pittsburgh, one in Green Tree. Green Trees is 1%, City of Pittsburgh is like 3. We, people look at that, and if you had someone that's comparing a house, let's say in Baldwin and here, that 0.5% is gonna make a difference, if they're looking at Baldwin Whitehall School District. So I do think it's something to think about, because they pay it up front.
I just wanna do, it's only a quarter.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I apologize,
Just for,
my
I don't know if
apologies.
but yeah, it's only a quarter
Yeah.
for the record.
Okay, sorry.
Quarter of
Sorry, I thought it was
No,
a
no.
quarter on each side, I apologize.
No, it's
Soon?
0.2, yeah.
Okay, my apologies. So, but still, that's just where.
Well, yeah, and I was just having
Yeah.
a discussion.
Yeah.
You're approaching your elected officials, why did you do this?
Yeah.
Since I proposed the idea, I feel like I need to respond.
Oh, yeah, absolutely,
But,
absolutely.
like I said, my experience, again, you may have a different experience, is that people don't know what the real estate transfer tax is. And when they're paying a whole lot of other expenses, it gets lost.
Yeah.
So,
No,
so
I can
that's
understand
just
that
my
point
own
of view.
experience.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your comments. Next, we have our bills and payroll, Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Ms. Book. Administrative Services, Mrs. McHugh.
In order.
Planning and Zoning, Mr. Lucetti.
In order.
Public Safety, Mr. Deep.
In order.
Public Works, Mr. Lucetti or Mr. Deep.
In order.
Recreation, Mr. Soborowski.
In order?
Library, Mrs. Thomas. In order. Sanitary Sewer Fund, Mr. Lucetti or Mr. Deep.
In order.
Local Fiscal Recovery Fund, Mrs. McHugh.
In order.
And Capital Projects Fund, Mrs. McHugh.
In order.
I would ask for a motion to approve the bills on the bill list dated December 18th, 2024, from the general fund totaling $315,115.68, from the sanitary sewer fund totaling $40,414.04, from the local fiscal recovery fund totaling $1,329.25, and from the capital projects fund totaling $50,970.29.
Second.
Motion's made, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
I would next ask for a motion to ratify checks and transfers from the general fund in the amount of $61,597.63, from the payroll fund in the amount of $55,269.41, for a grand total ratification in the amount of $116,867.04.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's made, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I also oppose.
Okay.
Reason being, I would like to, I think the residents should hear what happened with the ACH error, the incorrect amounts that was issued during the payroll. Can you go with a play-by-play for everybody, for what happened?
So, the most recent pay, an incorrect EFT was sent to the banks for processing. There immediately after an error was noticed from the withholdings. So the first EFT was recalled, the error was corrected, and a second correct EFT was sent out. Notice was given to employees that they would then, on their end in their bank ledgers, most likely see 3 different transactions, but the pay was correct. We confirmed that with the bank last Friday and Monday. So no worse.
Okay, whenever an ACH error like that occurs, there's normally something similar to if you bounce a check, there's a penalty. How much was the penalty and who is paying for it?
There is no penalty.
There's no penalty,
No.
really?
It's an EFT reversal. So it's like when you return something at the store, they ask for your card, it goes back on into your account. It was an incoming and immediately outgoing payment.
So just evened out.
Yes.
So even out, so all the numbers on everybody's pay was the same, nobody got one of one amount and then another of a different amount and one of it went missing?
No.
They were all, really?
Everything to our knowledge, the The bank has
Okay.
confirmed all the math works out.
And
If
Carter,
someone
how
has-
long did it take for them to correct this problem?
We noticed within 20 minutes, and then it's a matter of just, each banking institution has their own processes. So, for example, Dollar Bank there's a lag on their end, but nothing that the employees that bank there, we were in constant
So
contact.
within 20 minutes, this was corrected.
Each EFT was recalled and then a new one was issued.
So it was all just settled.
Yes.
No fees.
I was told that somebody received 2 different amounts, one of them was taken, but that's
Who
fine.
told you that?
Why would I say who told me that?
Well,
Bring this
because
stuff
we're in
up.
we're in a public place, say it.
No, I'm not saying it. Why would I
Okay, well,
say
why?
it? Did it happen or not?
This
I'm
is
gonna-
people's livelihoods that we're discussing here.
Okay.
We are going to,
Moving
discussion.
forward,
Excuse me,
I would
we are
No.
practicing decorum here, and you can't
Well,
just
we're trying
double
to-
us down.
No, because you're all
just
talking
because-
over each other, so that's why I'm here as council president, to have a nice normal conversation, and the solicitor wanted to make a statement.
The only thing I'll say is I don't think you should mention any personnel in the
Okay, sorry, I apologize.
Yeah.
Very good, okay. So that issue has been cleared and discussed.
Well, no, it's not. I would like to see I would like a right to know request for the transfers and play-by-play what would happen. And I'd like the bank statements of the payroll fund for that time period of what happened.
Okay.
Because you said that.
Well, just.
No, I don't have to file a right to
I mean,
know. Why would I have to file a right
if
to know?
If the majority of council thinks it's necessary.
I would like to see that as well.
Would you be fine with that? Because I'm not following what the issue is. I understand an error happened, a mistake happened, it was identified, pulled back, then reissued. I'm not seeing what the issue is that you're having.
I'm not gonna answer a question that's stupid.
Okay, that's disrespectful. We're asking
What do you think I'm
questions,
trying
but-
to find?
You know what you
just tell us.
What?
It's already been stated.
What are we trying to find? Okay, they said that there was no fees incurred by the borough.
Right.
So, let's see.
So you're not believing the borough manager?
I'd like to believe her, but why can't I see, why are you making it difficult for me, who is elected to oversee stuff exactly like this, on behalf of the residents? Why are you making it hard for me to get something?
Because Courtney is involved in the process. Council, relies on her. She said there were no fees. Why would you not accept that?
Well, why do I have to accept it? Am I elected by the people or not to do what I think? I think if it was me and it was my paycheck, I would like to see it. I would just like to see it. It would just make me feel better.
But if I have all of the correct money in my bank account,
There has been
I
no
don't care about
complaints
a fee.
to this borough, to the manager, to any administration.
There's been
no
no-
complaints, no one lost any money, everything's been evened out and taken care of within a 20-minute time frame. So there's no one that's at loss. It's a discussion that was taken care of professionally by our administration.
Then why
Okay,
are we
that's fine,
afraid?
that's fine, we don't
No
wanna
one's
debate
afraid
it.
of it.
We won't debate it, we
you're
just want.
asking for
we just
extra
want-
work
we already
when
did.
the extra work is not needed. I think we have to be respectful.
You have to be respectful of the people to know that we've been elected to ask the hard questions. That's what I've always said.
I mean, it would probably take two seconds to print that off, so I would just like it printed off, that's all I'm saying. Whether you guys say you could do it, or if I have to fill out a right to know request, that's fine too. I'm here to represent the employees and the borough, so.
I'm not sure what Mr. Soborowski specifically is looking for, and I guess Mr. Furman.
So what do you want to look at exactly, the bank
Me and
statements?
Mr. Furman
that
can
say-
talk after the meeting, that's fine.
He wants
And then we'll talk exactly what I need.
there's
Well,
no fees.
I think if I'm hearing right, I think all you're asking for is the bank statement, the borough's bank statement that shows there would be no added fee for this transaction. Is all is the single thing you're looking for. Is that right? True at this point?
Yeah.
With all of the activity thereof.
Yeah, the payroll fund exactly the transaction for when did this occur? Pay date of 12/13/24. The payroll fund transfers of 12/13/24.
How about a letter from the bank?
Just to be clear, the bank statement for this month.
Then
will not be
authorization,
rescinded
if
till next
you
month.
don't want me to bother borough staff, how about you just simply give me authorization to go to West Banco and find out for myself?
An updated statement.
The statement for December will not be received till January, that's how bank statements
Right.
work, so.
And find
that
that
online
online
on
on
the
site.
of it.
So upon getting that,
Wow.
that he wants to see it. That's all.
Well, when it comes through.
But
when
if
it
that's
comes
through,
through.
with
So-
consensus of council upon receipt of the January statement,
Yeah.
payroll account, it can be shared with council.
In terms of all council.
Okay. Good enough.
This is why we need thorough audits.
Well, that's right, that's what we do. Okay, we're gonna move on to,
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yes,
oh, yes, it was 5-2.
Yes, and then there's a motion to actually approve payroll for the 13th. Did we
Oh,
do that?
okay.
So I've asked for a motion to approve general fund payroll for the pay date of December 13th, 2024 in the amount of $171,257.09.
So moved.
Second. Motion made and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
There is no
Opposed.
Okay, motion carries 6-1.
6-2. I mean 5-2.
Okay, I just don't hear people speaking up when I ask for a vote, okay, 5-2, carried, thank you. That's all you have, Ms. Brooks?
Yes, for that section.
Okay, approval of minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of December 4th, 2024.
Second?
Motion's made, second, all in favor?
I have something to mention. So it is within, the budget that was posted, there is, a breakdown of what we,
Is this
we're
regarding the
doing.
minutes? Is this on the minutes?
Well,
We're
yeah,
talking about
We're in the
because
middle
I
of our-
asked, yes, well,
We're in the middle of
it's
approving the
it's
minutes.
specific to the minutes, I
But,
promise.
no, but is
Yes.
it stated in the minutes that you're correcting something?
It's stated in the minutes that I specifically asked for the entire budget to be posted to the finance.
Okay, that's
committee.
what I'm asking you is there a place in here you can point to that we can amend it, if that's what you're saying, something incorrect, that's what I need to.
Oh, well, I would like to know if it would be more appropriate to put this in the minutes that was missing, or would it be more appropriate to go ahead and retroactively post this one page that was somewhat omitted?
Well, reading through the minutes
Which
here,
one
this
here?
is what we're approving.
This is a page, it was page 3 that we were discussing at length regarding, what was the difference between the two budgets.
Right.
Because this is exactly where it breaks down. And there was a lot of discussion concerning the use of fund balance.
Yeah, well, where is that mentioned in here, that's what I'm trying to get at, because
Well,
we're in the
it-
middle of no, what I'm saying
Yes.
is the minutes, we're in the middle of approval vote for the
Yes.
minutes. So what I need, you're gonna
Yes.
approve this, because that has
Well, yeah.
anything to do with it specifically, it
Well,
doesn't.
because it
That's-
says page 3 here.
Yeah,
Madam President.
Yes.
And I did refer to it at the time as page 3.
okay.
And so did you. And all I'm asking for is if we're gonna refer to page 3, that page 3 exists in the public light.
It does,
Right on below.
yeah, it's there.
Page 3, on the finance.
Okay, yeah, so that page is part of the minutes that we're talking about, and that we're asking for approval of. So did we have a, motion?
And a second.
A second to approve the minutes, okay, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, Mayor Noah.
Madam President, first item I have is the animal control report for the month of November. Police received 47 animal complaints for the month of November. 27 complaints were referred to South Oaks Animal Control, which represents a 6.54 system usage rate. It's a little bit higher than lately, but historically it's about average. The reported accidents involving wildlife were 2, animal complaints involving wildlife were 4, and deer removals in the month of November were 11. The total on the year is 93 deer removals. Chief reports proceeds from this year's Police No Shave charity event benefited Mother Mercy Academy's shop with a cop program, Project Linus, and the family of fallen police liquor enforcement officer Benjamin Bradley. I want to note for the record that I did contribute, even though I didn't grow a beard. I said that's my bailout money. So, but I did. I'm in full support of the police department. So I did do my fair share, but I have to live with my wife, and so I did not grow a beard. Training activities. Officer Ryan Griffith attended a 40-hour firearm instructor course the week of December 9th at the Allegheny County Police Training Academy. And Sergeant Hinkle and Officer Bradford attended an 8-hour active shooter course for patrol officers the week of December 9th, taught by the Shaycock CERT team. You see Brian and Steve from the fire company. Is there any fire company report that you would like to share?
Just a few quick things for the fire company. I know Skip wasn't able to be here tonight.
You want to stand at the podium,
okay.
please?
Yep.
Everyone can hear you.
Yep.
See you.
Yeah, so Steve Cabrera, I'm a member of the fire company. We had our annual meeting this past Monday. Tristan was able to attend. That's where we do our annual election. So we elected the officer side and the board side as well. So we look forward to a successful 2025. And again, thank you, council, for your support.
Do you want to state for the record who won the offices?
Oh boy, put me on the spot here. Okay, so on the board side, Ken Seaworth as president, Kaylin Austin as vice president, myself as treasurer, Skip as secretary, our board members, Brian Pearson and Nick Price. Thank you. And then on the officer side, Nick Price as chief, Brian Pearson as assistant chief, Paul Brewski as deputy chief, BZ Marcus as first lieutenant, and then Rob Gruber as second lieutenant.
Excellent.
So put me on the spot there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Brian had your back. That's all I have, Madam President.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Move on to our solicitor's report, Mr. Carmen.
A few items tonight. First, this was discussed at the prior meeting, was a resolution to amend the fee resolution, allowing for a quarterly license fee for the solicitation ordinance and creating a $1,000 fee for amusement devices that are games of skill, not for monetary prizes. So I asked for a motion to read it in its entirety and then subsequently ask a motion to I'll make a motion to read it.
Okay. Second. Motion made and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries to read. Thank you.
Resolution of the Council of the Borough of Whitehall, County of Allegheny, amending the fee resolution to implement a quarterly license fee of $100 per quarter for a license under section 131.4 of the Code of the Borough of Whitehall, and to add a fee in the amount of $1,000 per device for amusement devices that are games of skill and offer monetary prizes. Whereas by resolution number 426 of 1984, fee resolution, the Council of the Borough of Whitehall set out in one document a schedule of the various permit fees and other fees charged by the Borough of Whitehall. And whereas due to increased administrative costs, council desires to amend the fee resolution to amend the fee required under chapter 131, section 131.4 of the Code of the Borough of Whitehall from $100 per year to $100 per quarter. And whereas due to increased administrative costs, council desires to amend the fee resolution to add a fee in the amount of $1,000 for each amusement device that is a game of skill and offers monetary prizes as authorized by chapter 68, article 2, section 68.8 of the Code of the Borough of Whitehall. And now be it therefore resolved by the Council of the Borough of Whitehall, County of Allegheny, Pennsylvania as follows. 1. Paragraph 21 of the fee resolution is hereby repealed and shall be replaced with the following. Peddlers, solicitors, and canvassers fee pursuant to chapter 131, section 131.4, $100 per quarter or portion thereof. 2. Paragraph 17 of the fee resolution is hereby repealed and shall be replaced with the following. Fee pursuant to chapter 68, article 2, section 68.8. Jukeboxes, $50. Pool table, $100. Amusement devices other than pool table and jukeboxes, $100 each for the first 3 permitted devices, and $200 each for the 4th, 5th, and 6th permitted device. Amusement devices which are games of skill and offer monetary prizes, $1,000 for each device. 3. All other parts of the fee resolution shall remain unchanged except for those specified herein. 4, should any section, paragraph, clause, or phrase of this resolution be declared unconstitutional or invalid by a court of competent jurisdiction, the remainder of said resolution shall not be affected thereby and shall remain in full force and effect. 5, all resolutions or parts thereof conflicting with the provisions of this resolution are hereby repealed to the extent of such conflict. 6, this resolution shall be effective upon adoption by the Council of the Borough of Whitehall. Resolved this day of blank.
Can I read the resolution for 260?
No, resolution number 1045.
I had the number down. What is it?
Resolution 1045.
Okay.
So there's a motion on the floor.
I second.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Feynman, there's an appellate court case going currently active that was brought by the casinos about these games of skill. So do you know what the status of the appellate court case is right now?
There's a handful of which particular one you're talking about. They're not, so, no, I don't know.
Because these do not pay into the state. They do not pay a state tax.
That's because currently, that's the litigation, they're currently considered a game of skill, not a game of chance.
They're not a game of skill. But be
I can only tell you what the court said.
Be that as it may,
the litigation that's
the
going on.
casinos are saying that if the games of skill will continue, then they're gonna refuse to pay the tax that they're currently paying at the casinos, which the fiscal 24 was over $2 billion in tax money that went to the school districts.
Yeah, that doesn't do with this resolution. I understand the case that's going on.
I don't think they should be adopted at all in Whitehall.
This is not changing, this is not authorizing or not authorizing, it's just changing the fee to the extent there are.
But you're enabling.
Well, minority
No, we're
says.
discouraging it, we're making the fee higher.
How about abolishing?
Well, okay.
How about abolishing them totally?
Well, that's not what we have here right now, but, yeah, we're increasing the fee in this resolution.
Chief Schmidt would never have allowed this.
Okay, so,
There's a motion.
When I said discouraging, I was responding to your comment. Your feeling is we shouldn't have any at all.
We shouldn't have any.
And I'm saying that it's set at a low level, we're making it at a higher level.
Make it 5,000 this year.
so right now we do have this, we have a motion and a second.
Correct.
Yes.
Mrs. DePew?
Yes.
Mrs. Eicher?
Yes.
Mr. Lucetti?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Soborowski?
Yes, but I would like to revisit what Mr. Schmutzer said. I want to look up more information about the appellate court ruling. But yes, for now.
Mr.
But I'd like it
Yes.
to be brought up at a later date as well.
Okay, so.
Motion carries.
Motion carries, thank you, 7-0.
Okay. Next, on the item is an ordinance regarding, chapter 131, the penalty and solicitation ordinance. This is really an ordinance that allows, fees to be charged quarterly as opposed to yearly as the reasons that were discussed by the chief at the last meeting. So I'd ask for motion to read the, ordinance in its entirety.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries to read.
Mrs. Wertz, you want to read this one?
An ordinance of the Borough of Whitehall, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, amending chapter 131, peddling and soliciting of the Code of the Borough of Whitehall to include a new subsection regarding permit holders' responsibility to abide by the no solicitation list and to reflect the adjustment of the length of licenses from an annual basis to a quarterly basis. Whereas chapter 131, peddling and soliciting of the Code of the Borough of Whitehall concerns appropriate rules and regulations that must be followed by those regulated under this chapter. And whereas there is a no solicitation list maintained by the Borough of Whitehall, and whereas the Council of the Borough of Whitehall wishes to ensure that those on the no solicitation list maintained by the Borough are not approached by those regulated under chapter 131, and whereas the Council of the Borough of Whitehall desires to adjust the license length for those covered under chapter 131 from an annual basis to a quarterly basis. Now therefore, the Council of the Borough of Whitehall hereby ordains as follows. Section 1. Section 14, expiration of licenses at chapter 131, peddling and soliciting of the Code of the Borough of Whitehall is hereby repealed and shall be replaced with the following. Section 131.14, expiration of licenses. All quarterly licenses issued under the provisions of this chapter shall expire on the following days: 31st day of March of the year when issued, the 30th day of June of the year when issued, the 30th day of September of the year when issued, and the 31st day of December of the year when issued. All other licenses other than quarterly licenses shall expire on the date specified in the license. Section 2, the Code of the Borough of Whitehall at Chapter 131, peddling and soliciting, is hereby amended by adding the following Section 131.16 as follows. Section 131.16, no solicitation list. All canvassers, hawkers, or peddlers and/or solicitors shall abide by the no solicitation list and shall not canvass, peddle, hawk, or solicit in the borough at the residence of any person who has so requested. It is the obligation of all canvassers, hawkers, or peddlers and/or solicitors to obtain a copy of the no solicitation list from the borough manager or designee prior to commencing any canvassing, hawking, or peddling and/or soliciting. Section 3, the provisions of this ordinance are declared to be severable, and any section, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance shall for any reason be held to be invalid or unconstitutional. Such decision shall not affect the validity of the remaining sections, sentences, clauses, and phrases of the ordinance, but they shall stand notwithstanding the invalidity of any part. Section 4, this ordinance shall become effective immediately. Section 5, any ordinance or part of any ordinance conflicting with the provisions of this ordinance shall be repealed to the extent of such conflict. I'll believe it. So it could be a motion to adopt ordinance 1177.
So moved.
Second. Motion made second. Roll call please.
Ms. Book?
Yes.
Mrs. McHugh?
Yes.
Mrs. Eicher?
Yes.
Mr. Lucetti?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Soborowski?
Yes.
Mr. Gates?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Last thing I had is, last meeting I said that I would have the draft water leak sewage, draft sewage credit for water leak policy to match up with Alphasan's. It unfortunately took a little bit longer for me to get Alphasan's policy than originally anticipated. I got something that was guidelines, so I eventually got it, so I promised to have it for consideration in January. Whatever that is,
January 15th.
So my apologies for the delay, but I got a couple pieces
It's
of
in the
information. I
works.
just wanted to make sure I had it correctly.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Mr. Solicitor. Okay, we'll move on to our engineers report. Mr. Westmeisel.
Thank you, Madam President. Do have a few items to review with you in our report dated December 16th. On page 2, under item 6, planning and zoning, the borough has received a request from the owner developer of the Express Wash Concepts LLC for the release of their performance bond. That bond is in the amount of $644,490.00. They've asked for the release of the performance bond and any remaining professional review escrows. The plan has been completed, it's in order. The recommended motion is to release the performance bond provided by Express Wash Concepts LLC in the amount of $644,490 and any funds remaining in the professional review escrow, subject to the borough receiving a 2-year landscape maintenance bond in the amount of $71,445.00.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
On page 3, item 11, the 2024 pavement maintenance program. The contractor has completed the remaining punch list items. They have provided us with their final pay application as well as their 2-year maintenance bond in the amount of 50% of the work completed. The pay application has been reviewed and it is in order. The recommended motion is to approve pay application number 2 and final in the amount of $47,523.87 for the 2024 pavement maintenance program to Wheeling & Wheeling & Son Incorporated.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
At the bottom of page 3, item 14, Rhode Island Road, I think praise council the situation that we ran into there at 3622 Rhode Island. We have met with the excavation repair contractor and the public works department. That meeting held. So the information that we've collected is that nearly 55 feet of that sewer is blocked with materials, and it's over 20 feet in depth. So we believe that it's a reinforced concrete pipe, so we believe, and we can identify on the videotape that part of that sewer has separated from its joints. It's a relatively shallow 7 feet depth. So based on the estimates prepared, it's actually cheaper to abandon the sewer that's excessively deep and construct a new sewer shallower within these. So that work will occur after the first. Finally, on item 15, page 4, under the consent order, we reviewed the projects for the GROW grant that you had received. We did advertise and solicit bids for the sewer lining in the 3 watersheds. The bids were received on December 18th, 2024. All 3 projects did receive 4 bids. The prices did come in
was
Yeah,
what they
that's what we
said.
just talked about.
If I recall correctly, it says happy holidays from elected
I mean,
officials
that's
and
what
staff.
you just said.
It was just it wasn't a signature, it just said happy
I was gonna
holidays.
say, it doesn't say anything, because that was what I
Yeah,
read.
because that was clearly not my statement. It might have been your statement, Ms. Wood, because you have the right to make a public statement as the president of the council, but I do not have the right to make a public statement on the behalf of the borough. And therefore, I somewhat wanted to clarify that this was not my statement.
Okay, that was the,
Meeting
okay,
minutes can note that.
all right, that's good.
Madam
Great.
President, I anticipated more discussion on the budget and tax. I'd like to make some comments. I could do it now.
Well, sure, you can do it now, Mayor, if you like.
So, I gave a lot of thought. I know there's been discussion, should we raise taxes, shouldn't we raise taxes, and these are my thoughts. Whitehall Borough came into existence because of a total dissatisfaction with the services provided by Baldwin Township. And people move to Whitehall now because of our municipal services, and municipal services are part of our identity. And the budget supports all the municipal services. And I think all 7 members of council are in agreement with regard to the expenditure side, but not the revenue side. The difference between those who voted for the budget and those who voted against the budget in the tax increase, as I understand it, is the amount of money that would go from the fund balance to balance the budget. So I think there are 2 compelling reasons why taxes should be raised now as opposed to at a later time. And the first is, there was a famous philosopher, his name was George Santana, who said those who fail to learn from the past are condemned to repeat it. And then Winston Churchill borrowed from that and says those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. But at any rate, looking at the history, Whitehall Borough, in I believe it was 2004, it was the early 2000s, raised taxes 93%. Kester was at that meeting. And the biggest complaint was not that that Whitehall was raising taxes. The biggest complaint was, why did you wait to raise taxes all at once? They wanted it spread out. And the other thing we see in recent history is what happened with the county. The county, they didn't want to pay, under Fitzgerald, no tax increase, no tax increase, no tax increase, and now it all came to a roost this year. There was all kinds of upset. John Palmieri told me that 181 people came to the budget meeting to present something. So a lot of upheaval that could have been avoided if the tax increase had been incremental. So I think that's a big reason why. The other big reason is, if you were to take your smartphone and you were to say, what is the general rule regarding cash reserves in a business? So I'm not asking you to do this now, but what is the general rule regarding cash reserves in a business? The answer that will come up is the general rule of thumb regarding cash reserves in a business is 3 to 6 months expenses, okay? So if you take the general fund balance of $13,676,668 and you take 3 months expenses, that would be $3,419,199,166.90. 6 months is $6,838,333.80. You get the idea there. 3 million, roughly 3.4 to 6.8. My understanding is, with the increase in taxes, the fund balance at the end of the year will be $3,203,475, which is less than 3 months. It's less than 3 months. In other words, somebody could make the argument taxes should be raised a little higher. But so the point is that Whitehall Borough has always acted in a fiscally responsible manner. It was Kathy Depew who proposed that we not have a tax anticipation note saving about $40,000 to $45,000 a year. We have our storm sewer fund to bring in other revenues that are specifically, targeted towards the storm sewer. Our borrowing rate for the pool and is 2%. You can't get any lower than that. We have already, always been fiscally responsible. And I think the council has once again been fiscally responsible with its budget and with its levy of tax. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Move on to our assistant managers report, Ms. Rodella. Okay. And then our committee reports, public works, Mr. Lucetti.
No, nothing to report.
Okay. Public safety, Mr. Dees.
Thank you, Madam President. Two items here. The first dealing with the chief. The chief reports that a few residents have inquired about an engine brake restriction for commercial vehicles. This would require PennDOT to perform a traffic study of road features and the crash history involving commercial vehicles for the specific state roadway. In addition, these restrictions have proven to be very difficult for a municipal police department to enforce because they are not considered a primary violation. So, Chief, I don't know if you want to respond any more than that, but.
Essentially, the vehicle would have to be speeding, it would have to go through a red light or commit some other type of traffic violation before we could take action if they use an engine brake in the restricted area.
Okay, any questions on that? Okay, also regarding public safety, myself, Mr. Lucetti, and Mrs. Wertz met with representatives from Brentwood Borough on Monday evening to discuss the logistics of the joint fire study plan for the next year. The discussions focus on drafting an intergovernmental agreement. The process is to find an independent consultant that all parties, municipalities, and fire companies are comfortable with, and setting up monthly meetings to move forward towards a joint fire service manual aid concept. A suggestion was also made at that particular meeting. Currently we have Whitehall, Baldwin, and Brentwood involved. Suggestion was also made to potentially bring in Pleasant Hills municipality and fire company into the discussion. As far as I know, I don't know what they have not responded yet. In January, municipalities and fire companies will convene to discuss this idea, what each party endeavors to learn, and what type of action plan the group is looking for moving forward. Whitehall Fire Company has graciously offered to host at station number 1. Wood Steve, good man by the way, from Baldwin Borough, is also reaching out to the State Fire Association to inquire if they would be able to attend the next meeting to discuss what other municipalities who have gone through the process, what their concerns and needs were, and how these processes work. The goal, as always, is to provide the residents with adequate and cost-efficient fire service. Okay, so we're only in the preliminary stages. We're trying to, again, provide the best safety we can at a cost that we can all afford. So it's a good plan, and so we can go forward with it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dees.
You're quite welcome.
Any questions? We'll move on to administrative services, Mrs. Pugh.
No report tonight.
Okay, thank you. Planning and zoning, Mr. Lucetti.
Yes, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Barrett to discuss a motion that is on the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Lucetti. In your meeting materials this evening is a memorandum dated December 12th, 2024. Staff requests council consider a motion to act on 2024 SLD 02 Grove Point Phase 2 10th Amendment. The applicant requests approval for a subdivision of Lot 10 of the Grove Point Phase 2 residential land development to establish property lines along the party walls of 4 townhouse units under construction. At last week's Planning Commission meeting, the Commission recommended conditional approval of the application. In your packet is the recommendation letter from the Chair of the Planning Commission. Staff recommends council grant approval of this application subject to the following conditions. Borough Engineers Review Letter. The applicant shall address all outstanding issues referenced in the Borough Engineers Review Letters dated November 20th, 2024, and November 26, 2024, in a manner acceptable to the borough engineer. Any additional issues raised by the borough engineer shall be resolved to the satisfaction of the borough engineer. The borough planning Director of Planning, Zoning, and Code Enforcement review memorandum. The applicant shall address all outstanding issues referenced in the Borough Director of Planning, Zoning, and Code Enforcement memorandum dated December 6, 2024, in a manner acceptable to the Planning Director. Any additional issues raised by the Planning Director shall be resolved to the satisfaction of the Planning Director, and the applicant shall pay all professional fees, review fees of the borough in connection with this application and report. And that is staff's suggested motion.
So, yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve 2024 SLD 02 Grove Point Phase 2 10th Amendment Subdivision Plan, application 236 to 242 Chestnut Drive, subject to the conditions in the Director of Planning, Zoning, and Code Enforcement's memorandum.
Dated December 12th.
Dated December 12th, 2024.
Second? I'll second. Okay. Okay, motion made and second, all in favor, say
I
aye.
have questions for the engineer first. So that we've had citizens from Grove Point express some issues that have resulted in perhaps some stormwater issues that are, I suppose, continuing conversations between the developer, and that is part of the issue as to why Chestnut is not officially yet on the official borough map of Whitehall. So can you perhaps break down into a few sentences as to how this may or may not be at all related to the concerns of the existing residents in this development?
You raised a couple of points, one of which was stormwater. There have been complaints of stormwater runoff issues in the rear yard. So that's an issue that we have brought to the attention of the developer as well as the home builder to address. Essentially what it comes down to is the way the lots were landscaped. There's infrastructure in the rear lots that can be utilized. However, the lots have to be finished or landscaped in a manner which will allow water to enter the storm sewer system. Your other comment, I believe, was from regards to the roads. We have not accepted the improvements of the Grove Point development. One of the reasons that it was made on our behalf or on the borough's side, but on the developer side, was we were waiting to have an as-built plan that was prepared and submitted that was accurate and correct. They've addressed all of our comments over the course of over 2 years. Most recently, they acquired or developed easement plans in a few instances where the storm sewer was constructed outside of the recorded easements. So they've addressed that. The latest thing, or the last remaining item that I'm aware of, is that they have to provide us with the sanitary sewer testing results of when it was installed. A manhole test as well as a air test that's put on the manholes. So they are collecting that information as well as they potentially will do additional testing on that system where needed.
Okay, great, because it does say that these shall be resolved to your satisfaction, and it sounds like things are, or at least moving along to your satisfaction.
Scott's
just to be
report,
clear.
that is
Yes.
the satisfaction of review comments pertaining to this plan specifically.
Okay.
This subdivision.
Yeah, well, my hesitation is before biting off additional zoning, then we make sure that the issues that have been ongoing and has been here before this council and citizens' comments within the past 3 months be addressed first.
This is only creating a lot for the townhome that's being constructed at the moment. The roadway, the infrastructure is in. And this is the 10th amendment of this plan, so as they set their foundation walls for the homes that they are building, they present council with the subdivision.
Okay, then can you answer me the one last question? Will this landscaping plan alleviate the things that we've learned in hindsight?
This subdivision plan will not eliminate or alleviate the landscaping concerns. That has to be addressed separately between the developer and the homeowner.
Okay.
Okay.
This is nothing more than a recorded plan of the properties.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I oppose.
Okay, motion carries 6-1.
Why? Did I hear a why?
Yes, why?
Yes, I
You
said.
don't have to yell.
Yeah,
You
okay.
don't have to yell.
I'm sorry,
I just wanna know why.
I
It doesn't make
am
any sense.
speaking loudly, I don't mean to yell, I apologize. So, it's a matter of, the fact that this will not alleviate what has been learned in hindsight.
Well, but they're totally two separate projects, and it doesn't mean that because we approve them subdividing for some townhomes that's already mapped out, it doesn't have any effect on the landscaping, nor are we releasing money held in bond and in escrow from the rest of the Grove Point project. We're not saying because we approve this moving forward, we are ignoring the rest of everything.
I've been around engineers enough to know that you definitely learn from prior iterations, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay,
All right, well, thank you.
thank you for your explanation.
So that motion carried 6-1. All right, then we have library, Ms. Thomas.
Yes, thank you. We have our representative Liz Tuttle from the board today. Thank you, Liz. Welcome.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. So just so everyone is aware, there's a lot of transition going on at the library. Deanna Gray, who started on Monday, is the library's new marketing and communications manager, full-time employee. She will manage all of the library's digital and print communications and marketing programs. She will also work with the Friends on fundraising initiatives, as well as assist patrons with technology-related reference queries. She has a degree in both graphic design and documentary writing, and the library is really excited to welcome Deanna to the team. The library has also hired Whitehall resident Ed Damer to assist at the circulation desk. Ed is a recently retired project manager at Verizon and wanted to find part-time work which supports his community. He brings with him a background that includes a passion for genealogy research and an archival knowledge of Pittsburgh's baseball history, so really a coup for us. These two new hires will replace Sarah Scott and Alex Bartman, who we're sad to see leaving. The new library director, Anthony Domenico, will begin on January 6th and will work with Paula for a few weeks before she officially retires. And finally, after decades of dedicated service to the Whitehall Library, bookkeeper and Whitehall resident and former library board member Karen Starr will retire at the end of the year. The library's accounting and financial services will now be managed by the accounting staff at the Allegheny County Library Association, or ACLA for short. That transition is in place, and the library expects a seamless transition. Although it is hard to say goodbye to such long and valued staff members, it's also exciting to welcome new staff along with fresh eyes and fresh ideas. Additionally, we wanted to thank the Jack Buncher Foundation for valuing and supporting the work that libraries do to support their communities, because in addition to the over $5,000 given for the Love Your Library match, the foundation has gifted us an additional $5,000 to every library in Allegheny County, of which we are one. So that is updates from the library.
It's very exciting. I got a chance to meet our new director, Anthony. He comes with such enthusiasm, so I'm excited for everybody to get a chance to meet him. I'm hoping maybe to have him at the January meeting, so everybody.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's our understanding that he will be at the January meeting, so you all get to meet him at that time.
Thank you. Okay, recreation, Mr. Sobolowski.
Hello, everyone. I do apologize I lost my voice, and I am trying to save it for bingo tomorrow. So if Ms. Wertz, would you be able to just get one for Thanksgiving?
The Recreation Department received over 100 letters sent to Santa at the North Pole for our Letters to Santa collaboration with Borough. Santa reported that all letters were written and sent out to ensure they arrived before Christmas Eve. The Recreation Board is collecting for our second annual season of giving, partnering with Community Clothing Exchange. Last year, we were able to help over 300 families involved in the Whitehall School District. We're collecting all items, however, children's clothing is in the most demand. You could drop off donations at the library during business hours, administration during business hours, and the police 24/7. The Recreation Department is partnering with the Whitehall Historical Society to host a trivia night on January 7th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the community room. 4 persons to a team with prizes to the first and second place, and please register on Eventbrite. There will be a princess and superhero party on January 11th at 11 a.m. in the Whitehall community room. The event is sold out. The Recreation Department does host many events that do not get advertised, so if you'd like to ensure that you do not miss out, follow Whitehall Recreation on Eventbrite and periodically check the Whitehall Borough website under recreation activities to stay up to date. The Recreation Department is looking forward to another year of partnership with Miss Denise and the Children's Library for a few different new and fun events. There was a pilot program of the Birds of a Feather Play Group, and after feedback from the community, they will be partnering with Achieva Early Intervention and the Children's Library for a bi-monthly program. Join Whitehall Recreation or Kids of Steel for free in-person practices this winter and spring season to prepare you to move and complete the marathon overtime. All practices will be held in Baldwin High School's small gym from 9 to 10 a.m. Practices are held the first Saturday of the month from January to April.
Thank you, Trio. Recreation report, I guess that's it. Thank you so much. Parks, Mr. Depew? No report. Okay, no report. Any new business? Okay, well, no new business. I want to wish everyone Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Holidays.
Happy New Year.
Oh, that's true. Happy New Year.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes, I like it. A motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
She'll be here until February.
To executive session.
I do know. She told me, yeah.
Aye.
I don't know.
That's how